Hey, everybody. I'm here with Taylor Nadler today, and Taylor's got a really great story. It's very unique. She played with America's team in high school, then went and played in college, and now she is a college softball coach. So she's going to be able to give us three different perspectives of America's team and how it helps you in college. So, Taylor, happy Monday. How are you?
I'm great. Monday is, a good way to start off the week, and everybody likes Mondays, but if you go start off with a positive attitude, gets your whole week rolling. But yeah, like you said, like I have a very unique perspective of looking at this. Like I played on America's team. I went back the second time and coached when went to Italy the second time, and then I played in college, and then now I'm starting my coaching career. So a lot of different aspects and avenues of looking at this. And like you said, like one of the first questions you asked me, like how does this help you get to college, and like how does it affect you? And like I had said, I was like, simple, just from people that you first meet on your group, the America's team, not even staying within the United States, you're meeting people from different lifestyles, different cultures, all over the United States that are completely different from yours. And that's what happens at college. Like I said before, you're thrust into this community of all these other softball players from all over the country. I mean, you could go to school in the middle of the United States and you got people from California, I got people from Florida, Texas. Like, yes, the one goal is always to play softball, similarly play it well, but as people, I mean, we're from different cultures, you live different lifestyles. So it's really beautiful because you get to meet people from different areas of the country, and you're like, I've never thought about that before. Or you just learn so much about even the United States. Like, for example, for me, like I'm small town Missouri, and like people from California are like, oh yeah, we do this, and like I do this. I learned a lot about raw food, like fish. I was like, I'm used to catching it from a stream and then frying it up, that's what I'm used to. But a lot of stuff like that. And like, that's not even getting into the point of going overseas. That's just the group that you meet. Like, and I mean, yeah, you're gonna struggles at first because you're gonna meet people on the team that you're like, you even play softball a little bit differently. Obviously, for the most part, it's the same, see ball, hit ball, run, score. That's the simplest form, but like how you were taught is completely different. So it's managing that, like, and being able to work with people that aren't from the same area as you. Yeah, it's easy to work with Susie from the town over because she was taught by the same coach as me and we play the exact same. But if I meet Sally over here and coach completely different, we have to work together as a team and communicate. And that's exactly how college is. Yes, you have one voice at that point as you have your college coach, but at the end of the day, like you are on the field, the coach isn't on the field, you and 8 other people are on the field trying to navigate softball in completely different ways that you've learned growing up. Like, it's ingrained in you. You get 4 years with these people, less if they are older than you or younger, and then but you've grown up your whole life in this area, this lifestyle, and then you're thrust into completely different lifestyle. So like, that's the best thing about this, is you're forced to, it's almost like kind of like you're forced to grow up a little bit, because that's how life is. You're put in situations that you're not comfortable with, and you just have to navigate through it.
Mm-hmm. So, on your trip to Italy, what was it like playing against the Italian, teams? And, I guess kind of walk us through that experience after you just got done meeting a ton of kids that you didn't play with before.
Oh, yeah. Well, the nice thing is our group, like, we got along really well. We all had the same idea of, what, we love softball, let's go play with completely different people who don't even speak the same language as us. And well, first, like, I'll kind of give this from a both perspective. As like a player, I respect it a little bit more now as a coach. I think the biggest thing going overseas to a different country where softball isn't quite the biggest, it's very humbling. because because we played like a very wide spectrum. Like we went to a place, nice facility, a nice stadium. It was the first place, but then you go and play another team, and you're playing on 90% grass field, and they have 2 bats they have to share amongst their whole team. And it's really humbling because you look at them play and they're having the time of their life, and they have gear. Like say you're 15 something when you start this. They have gear and equipment that you probably had when you were 8 or 9. And so it's a very humbling aspect to say, you know what, they're still playing and they're still having fun and they're still doing well with as little equipment as they have. And you're sitting here, you're like, oh, I got 2 bats at home. Well, especially in college too, because I mean, depending on where you go, what level Division I, but like everybody gets their own $300, $400 bat. And they're over there with really old bats that were probably donated. They may not even bought them, and they're having the time of their life and they're enjoying it. So it kind of reminds you that it's something bigger. You know, you're playing because you didn't pick up this bat, you didn't pick up this ball when you were 4, 5 years old, so then you could do all this. You picked it up because you thought this sport was fun and you wanted to continue playing it. And then it's just like, and as you get older, like everything of the world just kind of just comes in, and going overseas allowed our other world to just kind of fade away, and just like, you know what, we get to play, and that's all that really matters. So from the main thing, it's just kind of humbling to see different cultures and how they played and with what little or whatever they had, and they still enjoyed it. Yep. And the best part, the first place that we went, every time they have like, and they're just so welcoming, which is amazing. Like we played them and we probably beat them, but they didn't care at all. Like, and they still had the potluck with all the food and they were dancing. And it was like, it didn't matter for them. It was a chance to come together to play the sport that they loved, learn about America. We learned about Italy, and just share with each other, because not many people get to do that. Most people like my age or my background, you know, middle class, they don't get to go to Italy twice and get to experience that. They don't get to learn from people firsthand of what it's like to live there. And it was just an amazing experience. And then like, I traded jerseys with not jerseys. I traded I brought a shirt and stuff and traded with people, and they like loved it. So like, I actually still have them hanging up in my closet. It's just like memories that helped shape who I am actually. Like, it's not memories that I think about and enjoyment. Like, it just installed in me of like how appreciative I am of living where I am and what I got to experience, like especially in college, you know. Like it's sometimes, and like people from different areas, like as a player in college, like obviously I knew players on the team that they took things for granted, but they didn't also, but from like in their defense, they probably didn't have the same experiences I did. I got to see people who didn't have anything, didn't have the equipment, and they still played well and they still tried their best and they still put in the same amount of work. So for that, like, I think that shaped me how I am and how I focused on college. I was like, you know what, if it's not the bat that's the problem, if I need to change something, maybe it's my mindset. So it just kind of helped me shaped my mind and way whenever I went through struggles during college. And then like worked now too as a coach, I can remind players now, like, hey, you know what, you're going through stuff, but what about this? You haven't met these players that don't have anything. They have one jersey, one pair of pants, maybe 2 socks, I don't know. And you know what, they're doing whatever they can just to give them a different perspective. Mm-hmm. So like, as I'm starting my college coaching career, like that's what I hope to instill in like my athletes. But as a player, I know that shaped me like a big ton.
Well, and as a college coach, you know, when you see that a kid has traveled overseas, what kind of intangibles do you think that kid brings to your program? It shows me that they have a lot more experiences than most.
Like, they've met people from different cultures. They've managed that, many different coaches, and they've experienced life. I think anytime you get to go to a completely different country, you gain a little bit of maturity, because you're understanding how other people live. You're gaining more life knowledge. Just being somewhere else, out of the United States, like, you gain a little bit more perspective and like life knowledge, honestly. So like, I think that is some of the biggest things that you can bring into like college, especially like getting recruited and everything, is if you have that experience, you're more likely to handle a lot more tough situations. Like, there's examples where I've, like, as a player, I've thought, you know what, take a step back, remember this, like, maybe this isn't so bad. And that put me a lot more relaxed position for the next day if we were like in a weekend and I wasn't doing well. Like, it just made me think about, you know what, like, this day is not that important. I'll finish my game, whatever hour, whatever left I have. I'll do my best. But you know what? It's a new day tomorrow, and I can restart. At the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, like, I have a lot, as weird as it is, I have a lot more respect for it now as a coach. Like, I know, like, the other day, because I got nothing else to do. I'm sitting here. I brought out the I brought out the net and an old bat I had, and and my mom saw me. She was like, let me soft toss for you. I was like, really? And we were just hitting, and she goes, I think you are a lot like better now that you're not playing anymore, because you've got to experience the coaching side of it. I was like, yeah, I'm a lot more relaxed.
Yep. Hey, hold on 1 second. I got to go check on my kids real quick. I hear some yelling and screaming.
Oh, no.
Okay, I'm back. They're not killing each other, at least.
They're what?
They're not killing each other, at least. So
that's good. Do your kids play any sports?
They're 7 and 8, so yeah, we put them in everything. So yeah, just all kinds of different sports.
My sister jokes, because she's like, Taylor, if you ever had kids, I hope they play soccer. I was like, no. God. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, if I have kids and they're athletes, like, that's great. But even if they're not athletes, I don't care. Yeah. But we always joke, because I feel like almost like softball, baseball people, they don't like soccer. But you know what? If they're doing something, I don't care.
So here's my last question for you. As a kid that's done this and traveled overseas, what would you say to a kid that's thinking about going overseas to play?
Oh, God. Well, obviously 100% do it. And, like, I know a lot of, like, the main thing what a lot of parents worry about the first thing is, like, money. How do I do that? Well, because I got it from, like, a pamphlet from you guys. It's like, here's a letter, what you can write to, like, people. I had pretty much my whole trip paid for by sending out letters and calling people. Like, it's something, if you really want to do it, you're going to put the effort in, like, to get the job done. Well, I tell my parents this all the time. Oh, God. My dog hit the charger. I tell my parents, I'm super appreciative of my parents. Like, I've been overseas multiple times, like, not just from America's team because of softball, and they have helped me through that. And, like, a lot of relatives have helped me through that. So, like, I wouldn't be, hello. I wouldn't be where I am today without them.
Yep.
So, like, I would tell, well, first, if anybody that has gone and like put the effort in and the time, like, make sure you thank the people who help you get there, because, like, it helps you shape who you become as a person. But if you have the means, obviously do it. 100% do it, because not only are you playing softball, you get a wonderful vacation. You learn a lot about the country itself, and I think it's the best history lesson that you can get. It's a pretty expensive history lesson sometimes, if you know, but it's amazing. It's 100% worth it. Like, I would do it again in a heartbeat. And but for those people that don't have the means, people are willing, even if you ask 50 people and they send $10, whatever, or $50 each person, like, it starts adding up. And then, well, now with social media and everything, you can always do like a GoFundMe for all that stuff. And if you just put your heart into it, a lot of people will, you know what, like, even if you remind people, like, you know what, $10 goes a long way. And most everybody can spare $10.
Yep.
And, but, like, I know that's the biggest worry, especially for parents too. But, like, I mean, what amount of money is worth? Like, it's worth so much more than what you're gonna spend in the end. You know, you're gonna gain life knowledge. You're gonna gain history knowledge. You're just gonna get all these experiences that you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. Yep. And it's just amazing. Like, I love it. Again, hey, if you need somebody to coach a team, let me know.
Will do. And that's, so my last question, you know, as a college coach, what would you tell a parent about having their kid play overseas?
I mean, it's kind of the same thing. It's the best experience you can give somebody. You're like, you know how they say, what's the best way to learn something? You know, throw them into the fire. It's kind of like that. Like, you are given so many opportunities to grow, especially at a young age. You know, at 14, 15, you're at the prime time to gain all this information. You're being shaped by everything that you see, especially like early high school. You know, like, I'm not the same person I was in high school, but I think I've gone in positive steps of that. I'm still quirky and weird.
Yeah, we're all a bunch of weirdos.
Oh yes, it's the best kind. But I, like, obviously I've grown up because I've had to have experiences like that. But I don't think I would be able to get through those experiences without having gone to Italy and being on America's team, because I wouldn't have had those experiences in the back of my mind and be like, okay, yeah, remember this time when I was in Italy and I didn't know how to communicate with this person. So I had to, you know, I just had to do my best. And, like, it's learning as you go kind of thing. And, like, that's the best thing. Like, as a coach, you're going to know that somebody had to experience that. They had almost being forced to grow up in it for a week or 2 weeks, being around people that they had no idea, and just being in a world that they have no idea or anything about. So, like, I think it just gives you a little bit of more of an it factor, kind of like as a coach looking at somebody like, oh, they went overseas. Also, it's kind of more of a thing like, how often do you see that? They're gonna, if they see that, like, you know, on the recruit sheet that they do, they're gonna be like, okay, yeah, hits 450. You know, been played in Italy. That's interesting. Tell me more about that. And it's also like, it's a nice conversation piece too. But I think it's some of the best thing. And like I said before, you're being forced to play with people that you're not used to and you didn't pick. That's one of the biggest things. You didn't pick these people. You're in this group and you got to go play for 2 weeks, whatever. That's especially at that age, because everybody at that age, you know, it's all everybody that they know that they growing up. Like, they went to high school with them. They played on the same club team since they were 4. Like, it's all people that they know. But now at this young age where you're still being shaped by everything that you see, you're being put in the same type of situation as a college athlete. Like, that's amazing, because that way it just gets them one more step ready for college.
Yep. Well, awesome. Well, Taylor, that was terrific. So thank you so much.